What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel.
Okay, as usual, declaring a variable, you start first with a data type. So I'll declare these variables inside the int main function. This will show that I'm going to be working with local variables. So I'll declare a variable char, start with char. So char variable one, that's a declaration. We have declared a variable called variable one of character type. How do we initialize this? How do we initialize this variable? To initialize, remember to initialize is to assign a value to a variable. To initialize, use an equal sign, then you provide the single quote. And then you put the value that you want to initialize in this. I'll put C, and then a closing single quote. So that is how you initialize a character using single quotes. Remember, to initialize an integer or double whatever, you just say int. This is how you initialize an integer without any single quotes or double quotes or any quotation. Just slide it as simple as straight as that. If you want to learn more about this, a video was posted a while back. You can check it out. So, but that is how you declare a character. Suppose we do this. If we do that, C, this C will not be viewed as a value, but it will be viewed as a variable also. Because remember, you can declare a variable. You can even declare one character as a variable, int A, double C. You can declare like that. So if it is like that, there will be a syntax error to say C was not declared in this scope. You can check this out. Here we are, we have a syntax error here. So this syntax error, they're just trying to tell us that C was not declared in the scope. So you cannot do this. Actually, the declaration is always supposed to be like that. So if I want to print out the value stored in var, as usual, I'll simply say cout. I use the variable name. Okay, end line. So if I compile, we have the value C being printed on the console. So this is how you declare and initialize a value to a character. So the key point that I want to emphasize much here is how to initialize. Declaring a variable is not a problem, but assigning a value, that's where the problem is. We may tend to forget to put this value in single quotes whenever we're declaring a character value. Initializing a string type variable in C++. How can we do that? Okay, so I'm going to declare a variable of string type. So I'll use a string variable name and initialize. Now I have declared from here, you see that that's a complete declaration. I've declared a variable of the name called var3 and the string of string type. So how to initialize? Of course, you put an equal sign. After an equal sign, then you need to put the not single quotes like this, but you use double quotes. Those are double quotes. Then inside there, that's where I'm going to put the value. Now, when you talk about a string, as I said earlier, we are talking about sequence of characters. For example, I can put CK So I've initialized string var3 to CK tutorials technology studies. Okay, so that is the value that I'll store in that variable. So if I compile this, I will not have any errors. This is double quotes. So let me try a line of code to print out the value. Out var3. When I compile this value, you see the result is coming there. CK tutorials technology studies. So that is how you can manipulate the strings and initialize them at programming time. And these lines of code here that I've made as a comment, that is how you can initialize a character. So the difference between a character and a string is a character is a simple value that can be assigned to a small value, like an alphabetical value. A character can even be an exclamation mark. So this is also a character. If I put a number will be also regarded as a character. Whatever that I'm going to put in single quotes will be seen as a character. Okay, so whatever thing that is in double quotes will be a character. Now, if I put double quotes, that now becomes a string. See that exclamation mark, big mark there is being printed on the console. If I print a number 8, that one is being seen as a character since it is in single quotes. Okay, so that is how you manipulate this. But somehow you might think, no, I want to use char, but I want to store sequence of characters. There's a way you can achieve that. There's a way you can achieve that, though it might be seen as if you are talking about the arrays, which is a topic that we're going to be looking at. And by the way, strings, it's a topic on its own. We're going to look at strings as we proceed on. Okay, you can actually do this. Okay, char that. Now this statement, since we're using char and we have not worked on this properly, you see, we might print, we might have an error there. There's an error that is coming out because we are trying to initialize a string to a character type. But if you want to achieve that using that, you can improvise the subscript and put a big number there. That number would show to say, okay, I'm going to be installing characters in this variable up to the maximum of 100. So whatever number that you put in this subscript, it will show you, it will mean how many characters will be stored in that subscript or in that variable. So if I compile, the error will be gone and the value will be seen there. CK Tools technology studies being printed on the console, but I've achieved that using a var. a character, a card data type, chart data type. Thank you so much for watching. This has been CK Tutorials. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for more videos.